Ladies and gentlemen, 大家好, minasan konnichiwa, 여러분 안녕하세요. Welcome to the first Trilateral Youth Speech Contest hosted by the Trilateral Cooperation Secretariat. Today's contest is being held under the theme of Shared Culture, Shared Values, and Common Challenges among China, Japan, and Korea. I am Han Sujin, and it is an honor to serve as an MC for today's event. First, please note that recording or taking screenshots of the event is strictly prohibited. We ask for your kind cooperation. For the program, this opening session will be followed by speeches from the 6 Chinese, Japanese, and Korean specialists. The specialists will deliver a speech in one of the languages of Chinese, Japanese, or Korean other than their own language. Then we will have 6 challengers who will deliver a speech in all 3 languages. After a short break, we will open the stage for the youth session, where we can explore many other TCS youth programs. And last but not least, we will have the awarding ceremony and comments from the judges in the closing session. We have invited 9 special judges for this event. 3 directors from the TCS, 3 professors from foreign language universities, and 3 reporters from media agencies. However, you have a say in who the winner will be too. After every speech, a window will pop up asking for your vote. Each and every one of your vote counts and will be added to the judges' scores. So please don't forget to vote after the speeches. In addition, we would like to ask all the audience to take the survey at the very end of the event and let us know what you thought about this event. Again, welcome to the very first Trilateral Youth Speech Contest. Many people have worked very hard for today's event, so I hope you enjoy until the very end. Before we begin with the speeches, please welcome TCS Deputy Secretary General Sakata Natsuko for opening remarks.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome the speech contestants, judges, ladies and gentlemen who have gathered to listen to the speeches by our brilliant young speakers from China, Japan, and Korea. I'm Natsuko Sakata, Deputy Secretary General of the Trilateral Cooperation Secretariat, TCS, and it is my privilege to give a word to mark the beginning of the very first Trilateral Youth Speech Contest. First of all, I'd like to praise more than 100 courageous applicants who have shared their intriguing messages for the speech contest. I must confess that the selection process was not easy. In less than 5 minutes, you have shown a condensation of intelligence, curiosity, and limitless ambitions for trilateral cooperation. In other words, these speeches are a barometer measuring high level of maturity achieved by the civil societies, which I believe is the fruit of continuous exchanges of culture, technology, and wisdom among the 3 countries. TCS has humbly received every one of your ideas as gifts to keep for the future trilateral cooperation. We also hope you have found your own gifts on the way coming here. The first gift may be the process of contemplation. When trying to digest the theme, shared culture, shared values, and common challenges among China, Japan, and Korea. This is not a common topic you can find in the daily news or come across on your SNS. However, recall when you first made a new friend, maybe you had the same menu for the lunch. Perhaps you had a similar sense of fashion, that instant spark of joy when you feel you and I have something in common. Treasuring our shared cultural values and common visions opens doors for endless conversation, natural exchange of emotions and respect for each other's uniqueness. The second gift is the confidence you gained in expressing your heart through a language different from what you are used to. Have anyone told you you sound quite different when you speak in Chinese, Japanese, or Korean? Some say I myself sound more dramatic when speaking English. Cultivating a new language is exploring a new personality, a new you, and paving the pathway to people you would never have had access before. Please be proud that you have taken on these big challenges. TCS will always be here to support your vision for trilateral cooperation. And we hope to set the stage by saying, 皆さん, good luck. 加油, fighting. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary General, for your warm messages. Now, let us begin the Trilateral Youth Speech Contest. First up are the specialists. They will give a speech in one of the languages among Chinese, Japanese, and Korean that is not their native language. We will also have time for the judges to ask questions after each speech. 1人目のスピーカーは韓国のユゴンジさん。タイトルは日中間の分別収集方法です。それではよろしくお願いいたします。Miss Yu, are you ready?
Yes.
Please start.
はじめまして。今回のスピーチコンテストに参加した大学生、ユウコンジと申します。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。私が選んだスピーチのテーマは、日中間のゴミの分別収集方です。韓国と中国、そして日本は、それぞれどのような方法でゴミの分別を行っているのかと、それにまつわる問題、そして解決策まで発表しようと思います。では、始めます。まずは韓国です。韓国はゴミを紙、缶、ガラス、プラスチック、生ゴミなどで分別しています。分別収集はすべきという認識は他の国に比べて高い方ですが、実際にリサイクルされる割合はわずか 40% だそうです。理由はプラスチックにあります。リサイクル製品の中で大きな比重を占めているプラスチックは、1個の製品にもいろいろな素材が混ざっていて、それをいちいち区別して捨てるのが難しいからです。それで皮肉なことに、実際のリサイクル率は高くないのです。次は中国です。中国は現在、有害ゴミ、資源ゴミ、生ゴミ、一般ゴミでゴミを分別しています。中国は米国と同じくらいのゴミを排出していますが、まだリサイクルシステムが整っていません。それに中国の国民はまだゴミを分別する作業に慣れていないため、分別収集に消極的な態度を見せる過渡期にあると言えます。最後は日本です。日本の分別収集種目は燃えるゴミ、燃えないゴミ、資源ゴミ、粗大ゴミに分けられます。日本は分別収集の基準が市や区によって違います。例えば東京の場合、23区が別々のリサイクルシステムを持っているそうです。こうして一貫した基準がないため、他の地域に行くとき、分別収集に困ることもあります。このように韓国と中国、日本は各国異なる分別収集を行っていて、それにまつわる問題もまた違います。では、このような問題はどのように補うことができるでしょうか。今からは私の個人的な考えに基づいた解決策を申し上げたいと思います。韓国の場合は、生産者がリサイクルまで考えた製品を作る制度を政府が確立すべきです。最初から分別収集しにくいものは作らないようにするのです。そうすればリサイクルできる製品の割合は高くなり、消費もそれに従うことになります。中国の場合は、他の国を参考にして一日でも早く分別収集のシステムを築くべきです。それから中国の国民が 分別収集の必要性を自覚できるよう、リサイクルと環境問題に関する教育を拡大することも大事だと思います。日本の場合は、分別収集の基準を統一した方がいいと考えられます。基準が一緒であれば、ゴミの捨て方を間違えることもなくなるし、リサイクルするときにも同じマニュアルを適用することができます。分別収集は地球を守るための第一歩です。それぞれゴミを処分する方法は違いますが、お互いを励まし合いながら足りないものを補っていけば、韓国と中国、日本はきっと共に環境問題を克服できると思います。これで発表を終えます。ご清聴ありがとうございました。
감사합니다. 그럼 심사위원이신 TCS 사회문화부 김지은 부장님, 유곤지님께 질문 부탁드리겠습니다.
흥미로운 발표 잘 들었습니다. 감사합니다. 굉장히 주제가 흥미로웠는데 분리수거를 주제로 정하시게 된 그런 그 이유가 있다면 설명해 주시기 바랍니다.
한국과 중국, 일본이 함께 협력해서 해결할 수 있는 문제가 어떤 것이 있을까 고민하였는데요. 사실 환경 문제라는 것이 전 세계적으로 다들 공통적으로 안고 있는 과제라고 생각합니다. 그런데 한국과 중국, 일본은 이제 옆 나라에 있는 이웃 나라이기 때문에 이제 함께 고민하고 협력하여 해결할 수 있는 문제일 것이라고 생각하였습니다. 그래서 환경 문제에 대해서 발표하고자 생각하였고, 그 소주제로 이제 분리수거를 어떻게 하면 좋을지에 대해서 발표하기로 결정하였습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 다음으로 두 번째 참가자 일본에서 오신 오쿠보 스미네님을 모시겠습니다. 주제는 귀신 문화에 숨어 있는 한중일 교류의 역사입니다. Miss Okubo, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
The floor is yours.
안녕하세요. 일본 출신 유학생 오크보 스미레입니다. 저는 오늘 귀신을 통해서 한중일 동북아시아의 문화적 콘텐츠를 이야기해 보도록 하겠습니다. 조금 특이한 주제이긴 하지만 재밌게 들어주시면 감사하겠습니다. 제가 한국에 온 지 얼마 안 됐을 때 학교 해로잉 행사에 참여하게 되었습니다. 그 행사의 내용은 한중일 학생들이 한 명씩 모여서 자기 나라에서 유명한 귀신을 소개한 다음 서로 상대방 나라의 귀신으로 분장한 후 유학생 친구들에게 과자를 나눈다는 거였습니다. 그때 한국 귀신으로는 도깨비, 중국은 칸시, 일본은 우산 귀신 카라카사오바케가 나왔습니다. 이 행사는 잘 마무리가 되었고 다른 유학생 친구들과도 교류할 수 있어서 정말 즐거웠습니다. 그뿐만 아니라 저에게는 동북아시아 문화를 다시 생각하게 된 기회가 된 것 같습니다. 행사에서는 정확한 정보를 전달해야 하기 때문에 저도 제 나라에 있는 귀신에 대해서 다시 공부하게 되었습니다. 그 과정에서 동아시아 나라가 고대부터 이어져 내려온 교류에 대해서 저도 몰랐던 정보까지 알게 되었습니다. 한국, 중국, 일본은 옛날부터 서로 많은 분야에서 영향을 받고 있었고 귀신 문화도 예외가 아닙니다. 한국과 일본은 옛날부터 많은 책을 중국에서 수입해왔고 그 영향을 받아왔다고 알고 있습니다. 그 책 중에서는 신라나 소라에 대한 책도 많았었기 때문에 그런 책들이 들어올 때마다 자기 나라에 있는 귀신 문화도 발달했다고 합니다. 일본 같은 경우에는 정말 많은 귀신, 다른 단어로 요괴가 있습니다. 그 중에서 탱구라는 요괴가 있는데 이 탱구는 일본 사람이라면 모두가 알고 있을 정도로 유명한 요괴입니다. 그래서인지 저도 당연히 일본 고유한 요괴인 줄 알고 있었습니다. 하지만 알고 보니까 탱구가 생긴 과정에는 물교의 전탈과 밀접한 관계가 있더라고요. 당연히 일본에 있는 물교는 중국을 통해서 들어왔기 때문에 이 교류 없이는 만들어지지 않았던 요괴였습니다. 또한 중국 요괴를 소개하는 책도 각 시대에 들어왔습니다. 옛날부터 중국 서로와는 일본 사람들에게 익숙한 존재였다고 알 수 있습니다. 그냥 소개될 뿐만 아니라 중국 요괴를 일본식으로 재해석한 요괴도 생겼습니다. 한국 같은 경우도 일본과 마찬가지로 중국 신라나 서로와의 영향을 많이 받은 것 같습니다. 제주도에 있는 풍무신은 풍모를 기원하는 신이지만 그 동시에 똘림병을 담당하는 욕신이기도 합니다. 이런 귀신이 야명적인 성질을 가지고 있다는 점은 중국이나 일본 귀신 문화와 같다고 볼 수 있습니다. 지금까지 소개한 귀신 문화처럼 한국, 중국, 일본은 우리가 평소에 의식하지 않은 차원의 문화도 공유하고 있습니다. 지금 시대에서는 역사나 정치 문제 때문에 갈등이나 생각의 차이가 있는 부분이 주목을 더 많이 받고 있는 상황이지만 긴 역사 속에서 세 나라는 교류를 많이 해왔기 때문에 공유하고 있는 문화나 가치관이 사실 정말 많습니다. 저희가 이웃 나라로서 가지고 있는 많은 콘텐츠를 재인식하면 서로의 나라를 더 가깝게 느낄 수 있다고 생각합니다. 그뿐만 아니라 앞으로 올 시대를 위해서 같이 노력하는 것에 도움이 된다고 저는 개인적으로 생각합니다. 앞으로도 문화 교류가 이어지길 바랍니다. 끝까지 잘 들어주셔서 감사합니다.
大久保すみれさん、ありがとうございました。それでは、東京外国語大学伊集院肉子先生より質問をしていただきます。
はい、とても楽しいテーマのスピーチありがとうございました。妖怪はお化けとも異なる独特の魅力があるので、私が日本で教えている留学生にもとても人気があるテーマです。大久保さんも多分お気に入りの妖怪がいるんだと思うんですけど、それはどんな妖怪で、なぜそれが好きなのか教えてもらえますか？
お気に入りの妖怪は私、岩手県出身なので、カッパがやっぱりちょっと慣れ親しんだ妖怪かなと思います。はい。
カッパのどんなところに魅力がありますか？
カッパはいろんなキャラクターもあったりするんですけど、見た目的にもちょっと、頭にお皿が乗ってて可愛いかなと思っています。
はい、よくわかります。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
해마시다. 다음으로 세 번째 참가자 중국에서 오신 마훈군님을 모시겠습니다. 주제는 한중일 식문화의 특색입니다. Miss Ma, are you ready?
Yes.
Please start.
음식 문화에는 선차림이나 먹는 습관 등 여러 가지 요소가 포함되어 있으며 각각의 요소마다 그 나라의 자연적, 사회 경제적 조건과 그 민족의 특성이 내재되어 있습니다. 세계 문화를 노할 때 흔히 한중일 세 나라는 비슷한 문화권에 속한다고 합니다. 예를 들어 밥을 주식으로 하는 문화권이라든지 젓가락을 사용하는 문화권이라든지 점 등이 그것입니다. 하지만 일견서로 비슷한 듯 보이지만 다른 차이점도 가지고 있습니다. 푸짐하고 기름진 특색을 지닌 중국 음식, 담백하고 화려한 색감이 특징인 일본 음식, 외형보다는 은근히 우러나는 손맛을 중시하는 한국 음식은 다 각자 민족 고유의 정신을 내포하고 있다고 할 수 있습니다. 세 나라의 음식 문화는 살이라는 공통점이 있지만 각 나라의 생활 환경에 따라 서로 다른 음식 문화로 발전해 왔습니다. 한국은 밥과 국을 기본으로 하고 반찬을 곁들입니다. 살에 콩, 녹두, 보리 등 잡곡을 섞어 다른 형태의 살 요리를 만듭니다. 한국인의 예술적 표정 성향이 드러난 것이죠. 중국은 대가족이 식탁에 둘러앉아 주로 볶음 요리를 각자 그릇에 덜어먹는 문화로 발전했습니다. 쌀밥과 수백 종을 이르는 쌀죽을 먹는 중국은 전통을 중요하게 생각합니다. 경제성을 추구해서 간결하고 효율적인 쌀밥과 국, 간단한 반찬이 일본의 기본 식사입니다. 쌀문화권에서 피할 수 없는 부산물인 누룽지에 대한 한중일의 자세를 통해 세 나라의 독특한 문화적 기질을 파악할 수 있습니다. 한국의 일상의 누룽지는 식사 연장선에서 마무리하는 일종의 소화제와 같은 음식물이었지만 대륙적 기질이 다분한 중국에서는 누룽지탕이라는 화려한 요리로 재탄생합니다. 이에 반해 음식의 보존성에 중점을 둔 일본에서는 구운 주먹밥과 쌀과자를 만들었습니다. 식재료 누룽지 하나를 가지고 소방미가 넘치는 한국의 문화, 화려함을 강조하는 중국, 실용성이 드러나는 일본을 추구하는 문화적 특색을 발견할 수 있습니다. 쌀 외에도 비슷한 음식이 많습니다. 한국의 떡과 중국의 코, 한국의 회와 일본의 사시미, 한국의 김치와 일본의 김치 등 여러 가지 예를 들을 수 있습니다. 한국의 떡과 중국의 굴은 재료부터 모양까지 비슷하게 보이지만 한국의 떡 문화는 중국보다 더 발달하고 양식도 더 다양합니다. 한국 사람은 이사할 때 누구가 떡을 나누어 먹는 풍습이 있습니다. 떡은 정의 마음, 효의 마음, 사랑의 마음을 포함하고 있는 것입니다. 중국의 연영고는 복을 많이 받고 생활이 더욱더 풍요로워지라는 의미를 가진다는 점에서 중국의 떡 문화와 한국의 떡 문화의 차이점을 엿볼 수 있습니다. 오랜 세월 안에 중국, 한국, 일본 음식이 조상의 지혜를 전승하면서 이웃과 서로 영향을 주고받아 지금의 독특한 민족 음식과 외래 음식 문화를 발전해 왔습니다. 일본에 가면 편의점 크기가 작든 크든 상관없이 어느 곳에서나 김치를 발견할 수 있습니다. 김치는 한국의 김치와 비슷하면서도 일본인의 입맛에 맞춰서 개발한 것입니다. 한국의 탕수육과 짜장면은 중국의 요리의 개념을 받아들여 한국 사람의 입에 맞춰서 새로 개발한 한국식 중국 요리로 벌써 한국 사람의 일상생활 안에 뿌리를 내리고 한국의 생활에도 밀접한 관계를 맺고 있습니다. 중국의 베이징이나 상하이 등 대도시에서는 일본의 회전 스시 요리점, 라면 요리점, 심지어 일본의 술집이 흔해졌습니다. 창조적 행위가 인간의 큰 특징이라는 점에서 보면 요리도 창조 행위이고 실용 예술입니다. 대적보다는 유입된 문화의 장점을 전통과 어떻게 잘 접목시켜 더 나은 것으로 만드는가 하는 것이 관건이고 음식 문화의 갈 길입니다. 한국, 중국, 일본은 자신의 전통 음식 문화를 전승하고 발전시켜 나가면서 타국의 음식 문화를 이해하고 장점을 수행함으로써 더욱 건강하고 이상적인 미래를 건설할 수 있으며 세계에서 개성 강한 작곡의 신문화를 빛낼 수 있을 것입니다. 이상입니다. 감사합니다.
感谢马新俊选手的精彩演讲，请中国国际电视台苏玉婷主持人对马新俊选手进行提问。
新军你好。
你好，
衣食住行呢，和我们的生活是息息相关啊。你刚才选择的这个美食题目，在午间的这个时候，着实有点馋人哈，让人忍不住垂涎欲滴。那么你刚才在演讲中提到啊，中日韩三国同属筷子圈文化，那么三国的菜品和饮食风俗也是各有千秋，在一餐一食之间呢，三国人民展示个性，构建文明，正所谓是各美其美，美美与共啊！相信你可以发挥自己对美食的热爱，进一步为促进三国饮食文化交流增光添彩。那么你一定看过《舌尖上的中国》这一美食类的纪录片吧？那么我的提问是：假设如果有一天你有机会来创作一部纪录片，叫做《舌尖上的中日韩》，那你最想给观众展现或者表现什么样的内容呢？请你来谈谈你的创意。
我最想展现的是像我刚刚演讲中提到的，中日韩三国的饮食文化，他们是有不同的特色，然后这个特色它其实蕴含了每个民族的文化精神在里面，每个民族的历史在里面，所以我希望能够把这深层含义的内涵展现给观众朋友，然后更深层次的，我希望能够向大家展示，现在不同的饮食文化融入到不同的国家之间，它产生的比起排斥或者分歧来说，更是一种可以让自己的文化更好发展，让自己饮食文化能够更具特色的一种更加面向未来的一种融合。我希望能够在影片的结束展现一个这样的一种引导性的观念。
好的，谢谢。
谢谢。第4位参赛选手是来自韩国的吴贤景，演讲的题目是互联网的发展和中日韩民众的课题。Miss O, are you ready?
Yes.
Please start.
大家好，我叫吴贤景。今天我想跟大家讲的是关于互联网的发展和三国民众的课题。从 post-corona 时代和 new normal 等新造词中可以看出来，新冠肺炎疫情给我们的生活带来了许多变化。众所周知，面对面交流是相互沟通的基础。为了弥补这一环节的缺失，现如今利用网络研讨会和 Metaverse 等， 网络基础进行交流的方式正在逐渐商用化，有望成为未来的新趋势。但是以网络技术为基础的交流方式的发展，不仅会对人们之间的交流产生积极影响，同时也会带来一些负面的作用。随着科学技术的发展，海量的信息在网上迅速被共享，接收者往往在判断信息的准确性之前，会表现出优先接受的倾向。这样被接受的不正确的信息就容易引起一些误会和纷争。这一现象对我所在的韩中日大学生联合团体也产生过一定的影响。韩中日大学生联合团体是由3个国家的大学生们组成，每年在各个国家循环举办国际创业竞赛，进行各种合作课题的非常活跃的社团。在这其中，3个大学生可以进行非常活跃且顺路的交流。我所属的学术部的工作是举办国际创业竞赛，并选定主题，以及对相关主题进行 case study 等。我们每周都会举行会议，虽然在会议上我们之间会有意见的分歧，但我们还是努力的进行互相理解，并且为了解决问题这个统一的目标而不断努力。因此，在我们的沟通过程中，并不会出现很多障碍。但是在2020年国际创业竞赛进行过程中，战士脱离大赛在进行相互交流文化的 Culture Study Session 中发生了小小的突发事件。中国部门的部员介绍汉族的汉服的时候，韩国部门的部员误认为是在当时网络上关于各种文化起源的争论中提及的韩服的争论。幸好经过部门内部的迅速检查，解释清楚了，并没有引发较大的争论，而是以小小的突发事件结束了。但这让我提出了一个疑问：在对彼此理解度较高的学生之间也会发生这样的事情，那么那些理解度较低的学生会怎么想？实际上，去年1年在网上出现过的各种争论中，大部分都是缺乏根据和偏向的信息而导致的问题。当然，事先确断这些不准确、容易引起误解的信息也是很重要的。但是我认为，培养个人的信息筛选能力才是从长远来看更有效的方法。在筛选信息的过程中，自然而然的会思考信息的价值，并适才适所利用相关信息，就会创造出新的价值。技术的发展已经成为了3国的交流中无法分割的一部分。随着技术的发展，我们3国可以制定相同的目标，也可以制定不同的目标。无论如何，尽管我们的目标和课题可能会不一致，但我们只要通过信息的筛选，持续的进行交流，我相信我们3国的未来一定会比过去更加光明。This is the end of my speech. Thank you for listening.
감사합니다, 오영경님. 그럼 심사위원이신 중앙일보 서유진 기자님, 오영경님께 질문 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 잘 들었습니다. 보면은 국제 창업 경진 대회를 나갔던 그 동아리라고 하셨는데요.
네.
한중일 3국 학생들이 어떤 그 기업을 만들려고 하셨어요?
저희가 한중일 국제 동아리에서 저는 이제 그 국제 창업 경진 대회를 개최하는 부원이었습니다. 그래서 저희는 그 국제 창업 대회에서 이번 연도에는 어떤 주제를 가지고 다른 한중일 참가자들이 새로운 아이디어로 창업을 해낼지 그거에 대해서 관련 산업 조사와 산업 동향들에 대한 조사를 해서 케이스북을 참가자들을 위해서 제작했었습니다.
아, 네. 잘 들었습니다.
감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 第5位参赛选手是来自日本的向井猛香，演讲的题目是中日韩的共同文化元宵节。Miss Mukai, are you ready?
OK，
The floor is yours.
大家好，我叫向井萌香，我的专业是中文。 但是以前也学习过韩语，所以我对这中国、韩国两个国家的文化都充满兴趣。今天我来介绍一下日本、中国和韩国的共同文化。这三个国家都属于亚洲。听说日本的大部分文化是从大日传过来的，所以这三个国家有很多共同的文化。今天介绍的是元宵节的文化。元宵节也叫小仲夜，是新年的农历1月15号。这一天，日本会举办与农业有关的祭祀活动。日本也有的地方举行蹲堆祭的活动，通过燃烧新年的装饰品来祈求大家的幸福。在韩国也有类似的祭祀活动，叫타지타기。韩国人把自己的愿望写在长条诗间，然后系上稻草，将其燃烧。人们通过这个祭祀来驱除灾难，祈祷来年有个好收成。韩国其他地方也保留了类似的祭祀活动，祈求农业、渔业、林业的繁荣。在中国，人们只会挂起彩灯来庆祝元宵节，而且中国有赏花灯、猜灯谜、放烟花等一系列传统民俗活动。此外，不少地方元宵节还增加了舞龙灯、舞狮子、踩高跷、女种歌、打太极棍等传统民俗表演。看起来每个国家都有传统的文化。从食文化来看，日本人会在这一天吃烧豆，因为大家认为红色的食物可以驱除灾难。这样的观点是从中国传过来的。中国有吃汤圆的习俗，吃汤圆也意味着在新的一年里阖家幸福、团团圆圆。而韩国的习俗只是吃五谷饭，用大米、大麦、大豆、葛子和黄米这5种谷物制作而成。人们会在元宵节这一天吃五谷饭来祈愿长命百岁。农历1月15日是一年中第一个月圆之夜，所以大家会一边赏月一边祈求家人的健康和幸福。从这元宵节的习俗来看，无论是哪个国家的人、哪个时代的人，都喜欢赏月庆祝。很可惜的是，由于社会的现代化发展，这样的文化和风俗在逐渐减少。日本、中国和韩国的风俗习惯有共同之处，所以为了保留文化，我们要互相帮助和交流。与此同时，我希望这日本、中国和韩国的关系也会变得越来越友好。谢谢大家。
向井さんありがとうございました。それでは TCS 経済部山本真澄部長より質問をしていただきます。
はい、向井さん、とてもユニークなテーマのスピーチありがとうございました。で私聞きながらですね、やっぱり子どもの頃のことを思い出しまして、向井さんのスピーチのどんと焼きってあるんですけど、私関西の出身なんですが、そちらの方ではとんど焼きと言ってまして、お正月の飾りをですね、小正月になると燃やして、その灰を、家の前に置いておくと。で私小学校の頃はそういったもう40年ぐらい前の話なんですけれども、そういった町内のほとんどの家がそういうことをやってたんですけれども、今向井さんもおっしゃるようにですね、そういった文化が消えつつあるというか、最近地元に帰ってもですね、そういうことをやってる家はもうほとんどなくなってしまっていますね。でこのような、その各国習慣や文化が続くように守って続くようにするには、 どういった取り組みが必要だと思いますか？であと、日中間でもしこういうことで協力できるとしたら、どういった取り組みができると思いますか？
はい。まず自分の国の日本であるならば、こういうどんと焼きといったこの地域の出来事をもっと知ってもらうように皆さんに広告を出すことができればいいなと思います。私自身も今年に初めてどんと焼きを見る機会がありまして、それ以前は全く知らなかったので、知らないということを減らすことがまず第一だと思います。他の国に関しても日本だけでなく中国、韓国においてもそれぞれの国の特徴や文化といったものを他の国に伝える、まずは伝えることを目的にして広めていくといいかなというふうに思います。
どうもありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。6人目のスピーカーは中国のカ・コウリンさんです。タイトルは音楽がもたらす力です。それではよろしくお願いいたします。Miss Jia, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Please begin.
はい。皆さん、こんにちは。私の発表するテーマは音楽がもたらす力です。どうぞよろしくお願いします。ニュースでは中国、日本、韓国がお互いに誤解し合い、ギクシャクした関係が見られます。しかし、コロナ禍でもインターネットのおかげで、実際には3カ国間の文化交流が盛んに行われています。中でも音楽は私に大きな影響を与え、そこからは絶大なパワーを感じることができます。音楽に国境はなく、私たちは同じ力を感じます。音楽の交流を通じて、私と日韓の友人の距離が縮まりました。音楽の中で私と一番継ぎ合いが長い中国の歌は、母が歌ってくれた子守歌です。眠ってい、眠ってい、私の愛する赤ちゃん。母は私を抱っこして、私が眠るまで子守歌を歌ってくれました。母は看護師で、いつも忙しくて私の世話をする時間がありませんでした。幼い頃、母の懐は世界一暖かい場所でした。この曲を聴くと、まるで母がそばにいてくれるみたいで、この子守歌を聴くたびに、心の安らぎを感じます。韓国の音楽は忘れられない思い出があります。初めて韓国の音楽を聴いたのは中学生の時でした。当時、韓国のドラマ、星から来たあなたは中国で大人気でしたが、私はドラマの美しい挿入歌、私の運命に恋をしました。この歌を聴くと、ドラマのあらすじが頭に思い浮かびます。主人公とヒロインのロマンチックな物語は、私を大いに感動させました。そして、美しい愛への憧れの種がまかれました。日本の音楽は私に力を与えてくれました。今日はまるで昨日みたいだ。明日を変えるなら今日変えなきゃ。これは僕が死のうと思ったのはの歌詞です。歌い手の中島美嘉は聴力障害に苦しみながら、くじけずにステージに足を踏み入れて、音楽のリズムを感じ演奏をやり終えました。このシーンを見て思わず涙がこぼれました。当時の私は勉強の方法がわからず、どんなに頑張ってもなかなか思い通りにいかず、とても不安でした。中島美嘉の一生懸命歌っている姿が私を目覚めさせました。この曲は私が困難に陥った時に再び勇気を与えてくれました。音楽の交流を通して私と多くの友人に出会えました。中島美嘉が好きな中国人、韓国音楽が好きな日本人、中国の歌が好きな韓国人もいます。国籍はそれぞれ違いますが、同じ歌を鑑賞することに何の支障もありません。私は中国の文化で育ち、日本、韓国の文化から栄養をもらいました。 それからも私たちは自分の国の優れた文化をお互いに伝え合うべきだと思っています。3カ国間で友好的に発展し、交流を促進し続けることが究極の目標です。以上です。ご清聴どうもありがとうございました。
感谢贾华林选手的精彩演讲，请北京外国语大学朱勇教授对贾华林选手进行提问。
好的，谢谢。
你好，
那个贾同学，你中间那个字读好还是读好？
读好。
读好是吧？好的。这个郝林同学选的那个题目很有意思啊。其实，我想我们生活当中很少有人不喜欢音乐。那么，用音乐作为一个载体或者工具啊，来促进中日韩这个三国百姓或者三个国家之间的这样一个友好往来，我觉得是一个很好的一个途径。那么本身也是一个对外汉语教师，曾经这个，比如说我们的日本学生到了中国之后，我们要参加一个表演，他们刚来1个月，那么我们就可以教他们唱这个中文歌曲《朋友》。那么唱了之后，我们录下来之后给这个朋友看，他们觉得很惊讶，1个月就能唱这么好。那么从这个也可以看出呢，确实这个音乐啊、歌曲啊，不仅是这个交流的工具，也是一个学习外语的好方法。好的，刚才这个演讲的时候提到了一首日语歌曲，你能唱2句吗？
能唱2句，但我唱的不太好。我能大概哼个调吗？因为歌词不太记得了。
可以。刚喝水。
好，谢谢。Thank you, contestants and judges. I'm very much impressed by the level of proficiency of the candidates. I'm not an expert, but to me, everyone seemed like a native speaker. I'm sure the judges will have a hard time deciding who the winner will be, and I hope you didn't forget to vote after the end of each speeches. I would also like you to participate in the survey, which is available after the end of the event. This is the first time for us TCS to organize a speech contest, and your feedback will help us continue and improve the project. Next up are the CJK challengers. They will be delivering their speech in all 3 languages. They must be very nervous right now, so without further ado, please welcome the contestants. 1番目のスピーカーは日本の曽崎京子さん。タイトルはお経をあげてくれませんかです。それではよろしくお願いいたします。
よろしくお願いします。私たちはしばし慣れない文化を目にしたとき、しばしば驚き、圧倒され、そして時には嫌悪感を抱くこともあるかもしれません。しかし、身近な人の死を悼もうとする思いや行為は、人種も国も宗教も超えるのだと私は思います。私はお寺の子供として生まれました。大学の夏休みに帰省中、近所に住む外国籍の方が初めてやってきました。その方はこう言いました。弟にお経をあげてくれませんかと。それは2020年の夏、全世界が新型コロナウイルスにより様々な規制を張られ始めた時でした。弟さんが亡くなったけれど、渡航制限のため帰国することはできない。そのため宗教は違うけれど、お経だけでもあげてくれないかというお話でした。このことは私の心の中にずっと残っています。요 전날 메이카이콘이라는 한국의 사후 결혼의 광한 연파를 보았습니다. 죽은 졸음은 남녀의 영혼을 결혼시키는 사후 결혼. 거기서는 무덤이라 버리는 사면이 큰 음악 속에서 노래하고 춤을 추고 있었습니다. 남자의 어머니는 울부짖어 몸에 힘이 들어가지 않은 모습이 있었습니다. 비단한 장면 섞인 산적이 어떤 것이 무단히 미소를 보이거나 찝을 휘두르거나 마치 오락과 같이 되어 갔던 것입니다. 죽은 자를 위해 행하는 위례 속에서 웃음소리가 오르는 것은 매우 이상한 광경이었습니다. 그러나 밤이 밝아지면 점차 어머니의 표정이 어딘가 가르끈해지고 있는 것입니다. 죽은 아이를 위한 미래이지만 자신들도 살아가기 위해서 미래를 한 것이라고 생각했습니다. 在中国，有一个叫做清明节的节日，很多人在4月左右上班，很多人去扫墓。但近年来，信息似乎正在发生了变化。那就是上班的代行，还有医生服务工作人员代表亲属探望，并记录情况视频，并发送给亲属。很多人可能认为去坟墓敬拜很重要，然而尽管有伤知和困难，我认为怀念死者和他们的祖先，并感到怀兴趣并没有改变。日本にもお墓参りやお葬式、亡くなった人のための法要を行うお盆などがあります。時代や技術の変化に伴い、その形態は多様化していますが、亡くなった人の死を丁寧に悼みつつも生きていく、その姿勢には共通のものがあると思います。これからも人々の生活に根ざした眼差しを持ち、三国友好の景気づくりに注力していきたいです。ありがとうございました。
それでは東京外国語大学伊集院育子先生より質問をしていただきます。
人の死を悼むというテーマはこのコロナ禍においては特に大勢の人の心に響くとてもメッセージ性の高いテーマだと思いました。素敵なスピーチありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
スピーチの中で曽崎さんはお寺の子供として生まれたっていう話がありましたけれども、これからの将来についてはどのような夢や目標を持っているか聞かせていただけますか？
はい、これからそのお寺の僧侶としても一つの道としては考えてはいるんですけれども、これから大学院に進学してもっと埋葬とかそういう人の死について扱うものについて、日本のみならず他の国についても研究をしていきたいなというふうに考えています。
研究テーマとしてもとても興味深いですね。ぜひ頑張ってください。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
第二位参赛选手是来自中国的赵宇龙，演讲的题目是奥林匹克连接中日韩三国。
Hello，大家好，我是来自中国的赵宇龙。首先祝大家新年快乐，새해 복 많이 받으세요。明けましておめでとうございます。很高兴有机会能够参加到今天的这个中日韩三国代表出 T-SETS 的青年演讲比赛，也很高兴有机会去分享自己的一些小故事。那么我今天给大家带来的演讲题目是奥林匹克连接中日韩三国。여러분 안녕하세요. 제가 고려대학교 조우용이라고 합니다. 사실 제가 입고 있는 유니폼 보시면 아시겠지만 그리고 방금 저 사진에서 보여드렸다시피 제가 평창 동계올림픽의 첫 번째 중국인 송화풍수 주자이기도 합니다. 그리고 2022년 베이징 동계올림픽이 성공적으로 개최를 하기 기원하는 마음으로 제가 오늘 발표할 주제는 올림픽을 통하여 한 줄 삼국을 연결하자는 주제입니다. 그럼 저의 올림픽의 스토리를 분교적으로 들려드리도록 하겠습니다. 제가 올림픽에 꿈이 있습니다. 제가 중국 칭다오에서 태어났고 요트 선수로서 활동하였습니다. 하지만 수목 부상 때문에 아쉽게도 요트를 그만두게 되었습니다. 하지만 제가 올림픽의 꿈을 포기하지 않았습니다. それで私は2014年インチョンアジア大会を目標として韓国に留学することに決まりました。私は2013年に韓国に来て韓国語の勉強が始まりました。およく1年くらいの韓国語勉強が終わって 高麗大学の日語日文学科に進学することになりました。2014年インチャンアジア大会でボランティアとして活動して、オリンピックの夢が続けることができました。それで、日本の東京が2020オリンピックの開催地として誘致成功のニュースを聞いて、日本語をもっと勉強するようになりました。それで日本の出塚山大学と名古屋大学で2回に交換学生として日本で留学しました。その後、2015年広州ユニバーシアート大会、2016年ブラジルリウオリンピック、2017年札幌東京アジア大会でボランティアとして参加しましたし、オリンピックの夢が続けていました。2017년 11월 3일 제가 평창 동계올림픽의 송화봉송 주자가 되어 제주도에서 송화봉송을 하였습니다. 200m밖에 되지 않았던 송화봉송의 거리였지만 저한테 너무 소중했고 너무 아름답고 뜻깊은 추억이 되었습니다. 마침 제가 전 세계에서 올림픽 자원봉사자로 활동하면서 만나던 사람들, 경험했던 추억들 너무나 아름답고 소중하고 간직하고 싶습니다. 是的，对于北京冬奥会的热忱，让我不惧疫情的险阻，回到了中国，也在中国见证了北京冬奥会的开幕式。平昌冬奥会、东京奥运会、北京冬奥会的接力棒在亚洲传递，传递着自由和团结。那么，在北京冬残奥会即将开幕之际，也祝福北京冬奥，祝福 TCS， 也祝大家新年快乐。我的演讲到此结束，谢谢。
感谢赵玉龙选手的精彩演讲，请中国国际电视台苏玉婷主持人对赵玉龙选手进行提问。
玉龙你好啊，你能够坚持奥运梦想，并且成为平昌冬奥会的第一位中国国际的火炬手，特别为你感到高兴。那你呢，也随着平昌冬奥会、东京奥运会和北京冬奥会的举办啊，在中日韩三国之间飞来飞去。那么你对体育的热忱热爱呢，也着实让人非常感动。这不禁呢让我想起习近平主席曾经说过的一句话：体育啊，不仅可以提高人民的健康水平，还可以促进各国人民之间的互相了解和友谊。团结、友谊、和平的奥林匹克精神呢，在中国可以说是深入人心。那么你认为，作为像你一样热爱体育的中日韩青年一代，应该如何在弘扬奥林匹克精神、传播亚洲传统文化、推动体育事业的发展、促进人文交流方面发挥自身的作用呢？谢谢。
其实这个问题是一个比较难的问题。我其实在我自己的自身角度去说一下吧。其实就像我其实会在于短道速滑这个项目，其实有比较就是怎么说，有一些认识的朋友吧，然后他们也是代表了中国，然后代表了韩国，曾经去在奥运会上拿到过银牌甚至金牌的一个朋友。其实，在短道速滑这个项目呢，其实更多的，我觉得对于我们青年的角度来说，是互相的去一个理解，互相的去一个以开放的一个姿态去看这样的一个事情，而不仅仅是把一个体育运动一个政治化。我希望的说，更多的人去通过这个项目去热爱这个项目，去通过这个项目了解这个项目背后的一些国家，而不仅仅是说我是为了一个金牌，或者我是为了一个奖牌，然后就将国家的利益高于这个奥运会之上。我觉得奥运会的意义就是更高、更快、更团结。那我觉得这个更团结的这个是我们现在需要让我们中日韩三国青年去在奥运会的这个层面上去学习到更多的这样的一个东西。
好的，给你点赞。
谢谢。 다음으로 세 번째 참가자 한국에서 오신 정현님을 모시겠습니다. 주제는 문화의 화합으로 다가가는 한중일 평화입니다.
大家好，我是本来在复旦大学传播系读书，现在为了服兵役而继续的挣钱。首先感谢 TCS 为我们创造参加这场宝贵比赛的机会。虽然我有很多不足之处，但我想给大家分享我在中日韩三国生活过的经验和通过这经验我学了什么。 所以决定参加这次比赛。说韩国、中国、日本这3个国家是在东北亚最重要的国家，也不为过。地理位置较近的这3个国家在历史上一直纠缠在一起。我认为实现这3个国家的和平，对东北亚乃至世界和平都有很大的影响。而且我觉得，在政治上之前，通过文化的和谐接近中日韩和平，是摆在3个国家面前的重要的课题。僕は在日韓国人3世として大阪で生まれ4年期を過ごしました。そんな僕にとって一番楽だったのは日本の文化で、母語もやはり日本語でした。母がいつも韓国語を教えてくれましたが、かろうじて意思疎通ができる程度でした。両親はいつも僕が大きい世の中を見ながら育つのを望んでいたため、僕に中国留学を勧めました。海外とは韓国を除いては行ったことのなかった僕は、小学校5年生になった時、ワクワクする気持ちで、中国信用で僕の初めての留学生活を始めました。もともと他の友達と付き合いが良かった僕の性格のせいか、言語は違ってもすぐに中国人の友達と仲良くなることができました。そして土曜日には週末ハングル学校に通いました。週末ハングル学校とは、中国で生活する韓国の学生たちが1週間に1度だけでも韓国の教育課程を勉強することができるところでした。そうして僕は平日には中国の文化の中で中国語を学び、週末には韓国の文化の中で韓国語を学ぶことができました。このように日中韓の文化を全て経験して感じたことは、たとえ言葉や文化は違っても互いの文化に溶け込むことができれば十分いい関係が作ることができるということです。저의 아버지는 일본에서 37년 동안 원코리아 페스티벌이라는 축제를 열고 계십니다. 원코리아 페스티벌이란 한반도와 동북아시아의 평화를 염원하고 문화의 화합을 통해서 평화를 만들자는 취지의 축제로 매년 많게는 3만 명까지 찾아오는 대규모 축제입니다. 축제가 열리는 하루 동안 사람들은 각국의 전통 요리, 전통 음식, 전통 놀이를 경험할 수 있고, 또 각국의 예술인들이 한국의 국악, 중국의 비파, 일본의 다이코 등 자국의 전통 음악을 무대에서 선보이기도 합니다. 축제에 온 사람들은 국적을 불문하고 모두 서로의 국가의 문화를 존중하면서 하나가 되었습니다. 걸음마를 떼기 전부터 이 축제를 보고 느낌을 자란 것이 제가 정치적인 것 이전에 문화의 화합을 통해서도 평화에 다가갈 수 있다고 생각하는 이유입니다. 저의 아버지는 축제 마무리 연설로 항상 같은 대사를 외치십니다. 한국은 하나, 동북아시아는 하나, 아시아는 하나, 그리고 세계는 하나. 저의 꿈은 저도 언젠가 아버지를 이어 한중일의 문화의 화합을 위해 노력하고 동북아시아와 세계 평화를 위해서 평화 이바지하기 위해서 일하는 것입니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 그럼 심사위원이신 TCS 사회문화부 김지은 부장님, 정연 참가자님께 질문 부탁드리겠습니다.
예, 특별한 성장 과정을 통해서 삼국을 모두 경험한 그런 분의 관점을 소개해 주신 건 굉장히 흥미롭게 들었습니다. 그래서 혹시 삼국의 이제 친구들을 많이 사귀시게 되시면서 가장 큰 도움이 된 것이 있다면 무엇인지 공유해 주시면 좋겠습니다.
도움이 된 건 일단 저의 언어 능력의 향상에 굉장히 큰 도움이 됐다고 생각을 하고요. 또 이제 서로 다른 문화를 공유하면서 자라온 친구들을 만나면서 이제 좀 그 자라온 배경이나 문화가 다르더라도 서로 이해할 수 있다는 것도 알게 되었고 그런 측면에서 되게 큰 도움이 된 것 같습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 4人目のスピーカーは日本の植松雄大さん。タイトルは若者の作る日中韓の未来です。それではよろしくお願いいたします。
여러분 안녕하십니까? 저는 간사이 대학과 베이징 외국어 대학에서 중국어를 공부하고 있는 우에마스 유다입니다. 저는 일본에서 태어나 일본에서 자랐지만 동아시아에 큰 관심을 가지고 있어서 2019년 코로나 터지기 전에 중국과 한국에 여행을 가기도 했습니다. 오늘은 제가 그리는 한중일 미래에 대해 말하고 싶습니다. 여러분도 아시다시피 일본, 중국, 한국 간에는 역사 문제며 연도 문제 같은 여러 가지 문제들이 산더미처럼 쌓여 있기 때문에 서로에 대한 인상이 별로 좋지 않습니다. 저는 각 국가의 국민이 상대국을 생각하면 부정적인 이미지만 떠올리는 것이 한중일 관계를 악화시키는 가장 주요한 원인이라고 생각하며 이는 우리가 헤쳐나가야 할 공동 과제라고 생각합니다. しかし、日中韓は長い歴史を有し、共通の基本的価値観を共有する隣国でもあります。私は高校生の時、大阪ユネスコスクールネットワークが主催するイベントで、持続可能な開発のための教育をテーマにしたイベントに参加しました。ここでは中国や韓国から教員、小中高校生が大阪を訪問し、私たちが共通で直面している課題とその解決方法について討論しました。私はこのイベントを通じて日中韓に足りないものは交流だと思いました。たとえ国同士の関係が悪くても国民同士の交流は相互理解の基盤となります。私たちは相互理解を通して新たな視点を持つことで日中韓の恒久的な友好関係を築き上げなければなりません。因此，我建议举办以促进互相理解、培养人才、形成中日韩合伙关系为目的的中日韩青年博览会。在这个博览会上，今年要把从规划到管理的所有的过程处理好，传播中日韩的文化。虽然我们三个国家都有敬老的儒教文化，但是不应该受缚于过去的历史、固有的观念。青年应该要自由的去创造中日韩的未来。中日韩青年博览会主要有5个项目：商量中日韩的未来的学生会议，以音乐、书法等等娱乐为主的艺术文化交流，学习日语、汉语、韩语的学生参加的演讲比赛，中日韩夸耀的饮食庆祝活动，青年运动会。在各个项目上不重视竞争，而重视通过青年交流的过程中加强互相理解。中日韩有各种各样的问题，三国之间确实存在着互不信任，但是中日韩的青年作为 one team， 创造中日韩的未来是很重要的。我也会通过学习汉语和韩语来继续努力，向中国和韩国传播日本的魅力，向日本传播中国和韩国的魅力。谢谢大家。감사합니다。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。それでは TCS 経済部山本真澄部長より質問をしていただきます。
上松さん、とても素晴らしいスピーチありがとうございました。相互理解のためには交流が必要というのはもう完全に同意するところでありまして、でまたスピーチの中で、そのための具体的な方法、日中韓ユース博覧会、その具体的な内容も提案していただきまして、どうもありがとうございます。でその中で、内容でですね、音楽、書道、エンタメなどを主とする芸術文化交流というのがあるんですけど、その中で特にエンタメについてですね、上松さん言及されてるんですけれども、このエンタメの日中韓交流っていうのはどういうことを考えられてスピーチに入れられたんでしょうか。ちょっとそこを教えていただければと思います。
はい、ありがとうございます。今、すごい韓国の BTS だったりっていうような音楽の力っていうのがすごいアメリカだったりヨーロッパだったり、東アジア以外の地域でもすごく受け入れられている。ある意味、もちろんこれは韓国だけではなく日本や中国にも同じようなエンターテインメントの世界があり、これはある意味、もともとはイギリスやアメリカなどの いわゆるヨーロッパなどのその文化であったと思うんですけど、現代はそういう東アジアでも世界に進出していける、そういうようなある象徴の一つだと思うんです。それでその日中韓が交流していく、つまりは日中韓が協力して世界でやっていくためには、日中韓の今の強みであるものをさらに磨き上げていく、お互いに、まずは知り、そしてお互いにライバルとしていい関係を保っていく、そういうようなことが必要だと思い、特に若者の間でそういう日中韓のその、エンタメのパワーというのもこの日中韓の交流のためには必要だと思い、今回は発表させていただきました。
よくわかりました。どうもありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。다음으로 5번째 참가자 한국에서 오신 장윤서님을 모시겠습니다. 주제는 한중일 삼국협력 촉진을 위한 계획입니다.
안녕하십니까. 저는 부사외국어대학교 4학년 장윤서입니다. 한중일 스피치 컨테스트를 통해 제가 전달하고 싶은 내용은 삼국협력 촉진을 위해 제가 계획해본 방안들에 대해 발표해보고자 합니다. 코로나로 인해 한국, 중국, 일본, 3국의 관계가 점점 멀어지고 있습니다. 힘들 때일수록 서로를 견제하는 것이 아닌 함께 협력하여 더 나은 미래를 만들어야 한다고 생각합니다. 저는 3국 협력 촉진에 도움을 줄 수 있는 3가지 프로그램을 계획해 보았고, 지금부터 프로그램에 대한 설명과 기대 효과에 대해 발표하도록 하겠습니다. 첫째, 한중일 무비자 60일 허용 프로그램입니다. 2020년도 초반까지만 해도 한국과 일본 사이에는 90일 무비자 입국이 가능했다는 사실을 알고 계십니까? 무비자 입국이 가져오는 장점은 다양합니다. 우선 경제적인 수요가 증가하고 교류가 많아집니다. 문화 교류, 무역 등이 훨씬 원활하게 진행될 수 있으며 외국어 교육에서의 접근성도 높아지게 됩니다. 한중일은 위치적으로 가장 가까우며 같은 동아시아 문화, 한자 문화인 만큼 공통점이 많은 만큼 다른 나라들에 비해 친해지기 쉽습니다. 한중일이 친해지기 위한 첫 단계는 서로를 자주 만날 수 있게 하는 것이라고 생각하여 이 프로그램을 계획하게 되었습니다. 第二，韩中日飞行路线扩张，与前面提出的免签证、入境许可项目同时进行的话，会带来更大的效果。韩国、中国、日本3国之间的飞行路线不是以首都圈为中心，而是扩大到包括首都圈在内的非首都圈地区，打造多种飞行路线。日本和中国比韩国国内航线发达，从而可以知道有很多机场。这个项目的目标是同时利用3国的国际和国内航线，使之能够游览更多的地区，可以看出韩国、中国、日本代表性的旅游景点大部分都是以首都圈为中心，但如能增加非首都圈地区的外国游客数的话，对地区社会的经济发展也会有所帮助。另外，航空路线的增加对就业问题也会有帮助。航空乘务员、导游、外语讲师、贸易等领域最近也因新冠疫情也可以得到解決。最後に日中韓多文化家庭奨学財団の設立です。これは韓国、中国、日本の三国内で国際結婚を通じて多文化家庭になった人々の子どもたちを対象に支援する奨学財団です。韓国を基準に2016年から2020年までの中国人、日本人との国際結婚に関する統計資料を見ると、韓国人と中国人の約2万5000カップルが国際結婚をし、韓国人と日本人の約6000カップルが国際結婚をしたことがわかります。コロナの影響で国際結婚の件数は減りましたが、三国の協力が多かった4、5年前の資料を見ると、今の3倍を超える数値が確認できます。日中韓奨学財団では、養育費支援を皮切りに外国語教育に対する支援、必須教育に仮定する学位支援などを中心に運営し、少子化問題も同時に解決できるように努めることが目標です。これまで提示した3つのプログラムは、すべて三国が協力しなければ実現できないものです。しかし、協力をして長期のプログラムを実現に移せば、世界的に三国を成長させるきっかけになると思います。 以上で発表を終わります。ご清聴ありがとうございました。
네, 감사합니다. 그럼 중앙일보 서유진 기자님, 장윤선님께 질문 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 스피치 참 잘 들었습니다.
네.
그 원고에 보면 한중일에 가볼 만한 추천 여행지에 대해서 좀 본인이 생각하는 어떤 곳이 갔으면 좋겠다 하나씩 집어주실 수 있나요?
이제 한중일이 너무 수도권 중심으로 여행지가 개발되어 있는 것을 보고 비수도권으로 치면 도시적인 분위기보다는 약간 조금 시골스러우면서도 자연을 좋아하는 사람들을 위한 그런 여행지를 추천하자고 하면 한국에서는 조금 전라도 주변으로 많이 여행이 발전되었으면 좋겠고요. 일본은 뭐 교토나 밑에 지방을 중심으로 교토나 규슈 뭐 이런 지방을 중심으로 발전되었으면 좋겠고, 중국은 워낙에 이제 다 땅이 넓어서 어디가 더 자연 같은 분위기다 이런 건 없지만, 그래도 베이징이나 상해보다는 좀 더 안으로 들어가서 스촨이나 이런 데도 많이 여행을 할 수 있게 발전이 되었으면 좋겠습니다.
네, 코로나가 끝나서 우리 모두 여행 갔으면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다.
감사합니다. 第6位参赛选手是来自中国的徐宇晶，演讲的题目是中日韩环境利益共同体的构建与意义。
大家好，我的演讲题目是中日韩环境利益共同体的构建与意义。中日韩三国是东北亚地区重要国家，虽然社会制度与发展阶段不同，但三国在生态环境方面存在着共同利益和关注。深入开展中日韩环境合作，打造环境治理责任共同体，是解决东北亚区域环境问题的重要途径。中日韩环境合作20年来的成功实践，不仅为东北亚环境合作奠定了坚实的基础，也为推动构建中国周边命运共同体开辟了新的道路。上世纪90年代以来，三国政府高度重视区域环境问题，深入开展以环境部长会议为中心的环境合作，在合作机制与规则创设方面取得了显著的成就，为在更大范围内开展环境合作积累了宝贵的经验。中日韩是世界经济复苏和可持续发展的重要推动力量。三国环境部长会议加强在绿色转型领域的政策对话，有利于推动绿色发展，促进区域及世界性环境问题的解决。지난해 12월 7일 비대면 화상회의를 통해 개최된 제22차 중미란 환경장관 회의에서는 기후변화 탄소 중립 정책 대화를 신설하여 탄소 중립 관련 각국이 정책, 제도 및 기술 교류를 활발히 진행함과 아울러 청년 포럼 등을 통해 미래 세대와 함께 기후위기 해법을 제안하는 소통을 강화할 것을 제안했습니다. 최근 중국에서 시행된 분리수거 플랫폼은 온라인 예약 주문 뒤 커뮤니티 관계자가 직접 방문하여 수거하는 방식으로서 폐품 처리 절차를 간편화한 것은 물론 적립 포인트로 일용품을 무료로 교환할 수 있어 주민들 사이에서 큰 인기를 끌고 있습니다. 일본에서는 쓰레기를 함부로 버리면 불법 투기죄로 5년 이하의 징역 또는 1,000만 원 이하의 벌금에 처하도록 규정되어 있고, 순환경제 기술 기업에 대해서는 세금 감면제, 우선 구매 제도 등 우대 정책을 실행하고 있습니다. 한국에서는 보다 철저한 분리수거를 위해 각 지역마다 서로 다른 색상의 전용 쓰레기 봉투를 구입해 사용할 것을 요구하고 있는데, 이로 생긴 수익은 정부의 자원순환부서에 제공된다든지 쓰레기 배출을 감소시키는 등 일거양득의 효과를 볼 수 있었습니다. このように環境保護に対する3カ国の措置はそれぞれ相違点がありますが、自然と人間が調和された豊かな環境を創造するという理念は全く同じで、より快適な生活のためにいろいろ努力しています。共通の未来を有する運命共同体となっていく人間社会で、3カ国間の環境協力を強くさせることこそ、世界環境ガバナンスに貢献できるようになると考えます。今後も中日韓3カ国の環境協力には 幅広い可能性が開かれていて、これは中日韓3カ国自身に資するのみならず、北東アジア及び東アジアにおける環境改善とつながり、さらにはグローバル規模の環境ガバナンスにも多大に貢献できるようになると考えます。このような情勢なら3カ国の未来は確実により素晴らしいものになれると信じています。以上です。ご清聴ありがとうございました。
谢谢，请北京外国语大学朱勇教授对徐玉静选手进行提问。
徐玉静你好，那么我们知道内只有一个地球啊，这个环境问题非常的重要。那么能不能从你这个在准备演讲过程当中看的一些材料来介绍一下，就是中日韩3个国家在环保方面有哪些可以互相学习的地
方？就刚才我在演讲中也提及过，中日韩3国长期以来进行了环境部长会议为中心的会议，然后各国就亚洲，
你可以从你的接触，你现在在哪儿生活？比如说你在韩国还是在日本？你觉得这个日本还是韩国，他们平时生活当中这个哪些方面做的还不错的，或者中国哪些方面做的不错的，可以简单的介绍一下。
我生活在中国吉林省延吉，然后也去过日本与韩国，首先中国这几年来也在加强对环境保护的一种对学生的教育也是，然后各种环境保护政策也在持续加强。然后去日本最大的感受就路边没有垃圾箱，我当时去旅行的时候，然后人们的环境保护意识也很强，这挺感到惊讶的。第一次去日本的时候，然后韩国的话也是相对来说环境保护措施做得很好，中国也在这方面，政府也是就持续加强着措施。
谢谢你，
谢谢。Thank you, contestants and judges. I'm also trying to introduce everyone in 3 languages, but I cannot imagine how difficult it will be to deliver a full speech in all 3 languages. We will now take a 10-minute break before moving on to the youth session. In the youth session, we will invite some participants from the Young Ambassador program to share their experiences, so please be back by 2:30 p.m. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. 各位观众大家好. 皆さんこんにちは. 여러분 안녕하십니까? I would now like to begin the youth session for today's speech contest. I am Ryosuke, again with the TCS, and I will be the moderator for this discussion. The TCS strongly believes in the power of the youth, the potential of the youth, in promoting trilateral cooperation, as they are the ones who will be shaping the future for all of us. It is with this in mind that we implement a variety of programs and projects that are aimed at bringing together young individuals from China, Japan, and Korea across a wide spectrum of backgrounds. Today's speech contest is only but one of our many programs aimed at promoting mutual understanding amongst the younger generation. During this session, I'd like to provide you a glimpse of some of our other youth programs. But first, let us start with a short introductory video.
China, Japan, and the Republic of Korea. These 3 countries in Northeast Asia alone consist of 1/5 of the world's population and 1/4 of global GDP. In 1999, the leaders of the three countries initiated the cooperative relations among the three countries at a breakfast meeting on the sidelines of the ASEAN +3 summit. Since then, we have made substantial progress with normally held trilateral summits and the official establishment of the Trilateral Cooperation Secretariat in 2011. With the mission of promoting peace, common prosperity, and shared culture among China, Japan, and Korea, the TCS has supported trilateral cooperation in various fields such as politics, economy, society, and culture. The core of trilateral cooperation always has been the youth. The ones who audaciously remain optimistic and strive for a better future. The ones who continue to innovate while questioning the presumptions of society. The youth are the pioneers who will shape the future of Northeast Asia. To support such a crucial group of our three countries, the TCS conducts various projects to support the youth from China, Japan, and Korea to deepen mutual understanding through active exchange of ideas and talents. Young Ambassador Program. Children's Story Exchange. Trilateral Youth Summit. Asia International Youth Film Festival. Young Professionals Consortium on Trilateral Cooperation. Campus Asia Alumni Support. The perspectives, ideas, and actions of the youth will define the future of China, Japan, and Korea. What they learn and feel now will continue to impact the relations of the three countries and people for centuries to come. For this reason, the TCS will continue to support the youth so that they can bring about the bright future which they wish to realize.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope it also highlighted the variety of the youth projects we implement here at the TCS. We not only have what you could call a more orthodox program that's implemented by international organizations that promote exchange amongst those interested in public policy, but we also have other programs where we focus on other themes such as film or children's stories. And we open up our doors not only to university students, but high school students and the broader youth generation. Today, amongst those youth programs, I would like to provide you a look at our Young Ambassador Program. The TCS annually hosts the Young Ambassador Program, which we call YAP for short. And this is basically a short-term student exchange program that offers a range of opportunities for the promising future leaders of China, Japan, and Korea to enhance understanding of trilateral cooperation and to foster a sense of community and friendship among the younger generation. Under non-pandemic circumstances, students are invited to Seoul for 2 weeks, where they attend lectures, they visit think tanks, international organizations, and conduct a team project. Due to the pandemic, however, this year we held it in an online format, and it took place from February 8th this year to February 25th, which was yesterday. This year, instead of our usual offline visits, we had a series of online lectures 3 times a week, focusing on various topics such as regional politics and its influence on trilateral cooperation, China, Japan, Korea environment cooperation, and so forth. And for the team project portion of the program, the TCS split participants and tasked them with creating a project proposal for promoting trilateral cooperation. We asked the participating students, what kind of project would you implement if you were in charge of the TCS? And so they were responsible for creating a proposal document and delivering a presentation on the last day of the program. I think it'd be boring if I just kept talking and explaining what the program is. So what we have done today is invite 3 of our young ambassadors who just completed the program last afternoon to share with us their experiences. Before we dive into this discussion, however, I'd like to show everyone just what kind of high-level, refined, and sophisticated proposals that students produce after 3 weeks of working together. So this year, we had 4 teams based on different thematic groupings. And so we had a team that proposed establishing a trilateral environment youth forum, another team that suggested a young entrepreneur program, another team that focused on addressing gender inequality in the workplaces of the 3 countries, and finally, a team that focused on increasing awareness of TCS through benchmarking and developing on outreach and awareness programs of other regional institutions. And they compared the Campus Asia program, which is an educational exchange program in China, Japan, and Korea, with that of the Erasmus Plus program in the EU. So these 4 teams, they did a great job, but after a very intense round of judging yesterday, the last team that focused on Campus Asia and the Erasmus Plus program won the Best Proposal Prize. So I would like to show to you now the presentation delivered by this team.
Okay, great. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for the opportunity today. So the topic of our group is increasing awareness of TCS through benchmarking and developing on outreach awareness programs of other regional institutions, with the focus on benchmarking with the Campus Asia program and the Erasmus Plus program. So before delving into the presentation, I would first like to introduce our group members. They are Yixing, Yonghyun, Saki, Kaen, Kaiko, and me. And Kaen and Kaiko and I will be presenting our findings on behalf of the whole group today. So the presentation will be introduced in 5 sections: the importance of awareness programs, explanation on Campus Asia, explanation on Erasmus Plus program, room for improvement in Campus Asia, solutions and conclusion. So the purpose of our research is to benchmark Campus Asia program and Erasmus Plus program in order to better understand how TCS could further develop its outreach program. I will be presenting the first 3 sections, and Kaen and Kaiko will be presenting the last 2 sections. So the first section is about the importance of awareness programs, in particular the student exchange program. As connecting the youth has becoming more and more important in a globalized world, and promoting interactions among youth across various countries have brought enormous benefits, both in the short run and long run. For example, as we can see on the graph, students will be able to exchange their cultures, languages, while making lifelong friends to become a better version of themselves and enhance education credentials and experience. Governments and organizations around the world strive to provide international youth exchange programs, despite the young people themselves being able to gain a better understanding of different social and cultural backgrounds throughout the program. It could also facilitate the interaction and cooperation among institutions on a higher level. There have been emerging youth exchange programs across the globe. For example, Campus Asia, focusing on student exchange across China, Japan, and Korea. AUN student exchange program focusing on ASEAN universities, Erasmus Plus program focusing on the European countries, and Turing scheme and Amazon Scholars program is a global exchange scheme. While the programs have been successful in providing opportunities for students to study abroad, there's still room for improvement. Therefore, we chose Campus Asia as our main focus of analysis today, as it is a very successful and popular program among China, Japan, and Korea. And we use Erasmus Plus as another benchmarking example in Europe. We aim to analyze limitations and provide possible suggestions to complement the program. So first of all, I will just quickly introduce the Campus Asia program. So Campus Asia, or Collective Action for Mobility program of university students in Asia, is a student exchange program that connects China, Japan, and Korea through cooperation among the government. in hopes of nurturing future leaders who will grow to become active members of the community. The formation of Campus Asia could trace back to 2009 during the second JCK summit. The agreement was reached on trilateral high-quality inter-university exchanges and later named as Campus Asia. It initially began in 2011 with pilot programs and has grown to 17 student exchange programs. Since the launching of the program, more than 6,600 students have participated in its different programs, which include exchanges, joint curriculums, and dual degrees, with English as the link language. Almost 500 students from the 3 countries have obtained dual degrees or multiple degrees under the Campus Asia program, and the academic collaboration allows the program to achieve its purpose of fostering the participants' understanding of the culture and people of the 3 countries. Although Campus Asia primarily focusing on China, Japan, Korea, as we know, now the universities in ASEAN countries, mainly Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia, will be part of the new Campus Asia Plus program, which begins this year. For example, Thailand's Mahidol University will join the program with Yonsei University in Seoul, Osaka University in Japan, and China's Peking University. Although Campus Asia has only been set up for around 10 years, it has achieved great success. Yet Campus Asia was modeled on the Erasmus program, which was set up in 1987 by the EU to promote the exchange of students and researchers to strengthen the network among academic institutions of higher education. So in the next section, we will have a look at the Erasmus Plus program. So the Erasmus Plus, which is an updated version of Erasmus program originally in 2014, which combines the EU's schemes for education, training, youth, and sport. The program provides opportunities for students to study or gain work experience in a different European country while completing a degree. For example, Erasmus Mundus joined master's program as part of the study abroad program. Erasmus Plus is offered with a financial aid as well as local Erasmus student network to provide students with sufficient support before and during the program. Through different exchanges, Erasmus Plus aims to promote European cultures and the presence of EU to the world. The impact of Erasmus Plus is huge, as up till 2021, the program has offered opportunities to over 4 million participants to gain a wide range of experience abroad. So now I'm going to hand over to Kaiko to introduce the following sections.
Thank you, Jinjian. From now, I'd like to talk about the areas for improvement of Campus Asia program based on my experience as a Campus Asia student from the University of Tokyo. Though Campus Asia program has been serving as one of the prominent youth exchange programs, some areas of improvement are observed so far. Next slide, please. Okay, one of it is the lack of communication network among participating students, universities, and alumni. As a student of Campus Asia, I would like to point out 3 aspects that Campus Asia kind of lacks in terms of communication networks. In student level, there are no platforms available for students to interact as a whole. As Campus Asia students constantly move back and forth within CJK nations, it is kind of hard for students to get to know each other if they start the program in different year, or they have the different, if they are from the different partner universities. Even myself have many Campus Asia students that I don't even know of due to the lack of communication platforms to interact. So I'll explain later, but due to COVID-19, chances of getting to know other Campus Asia students have drastically diminished since everything is now online. The communication at working level has also impacted by COVID-19 as well. The disturbances of communication at this level has caused Campus Asia students to live in an uncertain situation for quite a while. In pre-COVID-19, there was an in-person alumni gathering hosted by TCS back in 2019. Though it was hosted in the middle of semester, the event served as a place to get to know other Campus Asia students from different partner universities. As each Campus Asia students rarely recognize each other in lectures at PKU or SNU due to different curriculums that PKU and SNU have for their participants, I will say such opportunity is definitely needed for Campus Asia students to socialize within their community. Next slide, please. I'm not going into details of each activity. However, as you can see here, there are some opportunities available at professor level of each partner university, while students rarely get opportunities to interact with each other across different partner schools. Next slide, please. So let me introduce Campus Asia Alumni Association a bit in detail again here. This Alumni Association was founded in Campus Asia Trilateral Conference in Tokyo in 2014. It has been serving as a platform for all participants to get together, including program participants and alumni, but such activities partly suspended due to the effects of COVID-19. Though the objectives of creating an alumni association was to keep in touch with each participant and to enhance further communication among all Campus Asia participants, including alumni and future participants, holding activities of BESETO is completely voluntary and unorganized at the moment, as no one is deeply in charge of the activities of BESETO. Next slide, please. Though Campus Asia has been successful in diminishing financial burdens of program participants, there are differences in scholarship opportunities among the students depending on their home universities. Next slide, please. As you can see, Campus Asia students receive monthly stipend while they go abroad by each partner university. But there are differences in scholarship opportunities depending on the universities and students' programs. For example, if a Japanese student goes to Peking University as an exchange student, they are entitled to receive 3,000 yuan per month, while the dual degree students can receive monthly stipend plus other scholarship from different funds. Such opportunities are not open for students other than dual degree students of PKU and University of Tokyo. So when Chinese and South Korean students come to University of Tokyo, they are not granted to receive scholarships other than Campus Asia scholarship, which is not enough for students to live in Japan sometimes. Also, Japanese students have their air ticket supported by their home university, while students from other nationalities don't. So disparity in scholarship opportunities exist in some aspects of Campus Asia program. So from next slide, Gaon is going to explain solutions for these programs in our conclusion. Thank you.
Based on the problems that Kaiko analyzed for us, we would now like to move on to proposing solutions and conclusions. Next slide, please. So first of all, Kaiko analyzed for us in depth the problem of participants of diverse Campus Asia universities not being well connected. To this, we would like to propose benchmarking the European Union alumni platform. Largely, the European Union functions based on two alumni platforms. The first is an online global alumni platform that aims to connect European Union activity alumni from all over the world. However, there is also a second platform that is more localized. Currently, the European Union has pilot countries in which they are setting up localized alumni network events. For example, if we look at the next page, next slide, please. We can see this Model European Union alumni dinner event that was funded by the European Union. This was hosted at Hankuk University of Foreign Studies last year. We think that through such localized Erasmus Plus network programs, Erasmus Plus alumni have been able to maintain touch and forge closer connections not only with each other from the same year, but also with European Union ambassadors and interns. We believe that TCS will be able to implement such efforts, connecting diverse alumni from Campus Asia with alumni from other activities such as the YAP as well as the summit. And we believe that in addition to the pre-existing alumni events in Tokyo, these activities can also be implemented in a localized way in Seoul and Beijing as well. Next slide, please. Secondly, we would like to propose increased communication between the coordinator of Campus Asia as well. Both Erasmus Plus and Campus Asia have coordinators in each university who facilitate communication between the universities and aid students if they are in need. However, we think that currently coordination and communication between the coordinators of Campus Asia is not very facilitated. In contrast, when it comes to the Erasmus Plus program, Erasmus coordinators have a close network among each other. Furthermore, they have annual meetings that are hosted by the Culture Executive Agency. If you see on the bottom right corner, there is a list of previous meetings among the Erasmus Plus coordinators. Previously, it was hosted offline, and coordinators from diverse Erasmus Plus universities were invited to an offline meeting. However, because of COVID, it has transitioned online. We believe that closer coordination among these coordinators is especially essential as the Campus Asia program is increasing and accommodating for more universities, not only in TCS member countries, but also in ASEAN. We believe that increased communication among coordinators will allow coordinators to share best practices with each other. For example, how to encourage private companies to also fund scholarship opportunities for students, which will essentially contribute to reducing disparity of scholarship opportunities, as well as increasing the quality of the curricula and the student faculty experience as a whole. Next slide, please. In Chinese, there is a concept called 后发优势. This basically means latecomer's advantage in English. This is important as TCS had a later start compared to other institutions such as the European Union or ASEAN. However, as implied by latecomer's advantage, one of the strengths of an institution that has started earlier is that we can benchmark and improve based on the solutions that other institutions have already implemented. And we believe that through our presentation, we've hopefully contributed somewhat to highlighting the importance of awareness programs to increase bond between the youth of three countries and how we can analyze the solutions that other institutions have implemented to improve TCS even further. Thank you for listening to our presentation so far.
Okay. Again, this is my second time seeing that presentation, but I'm surprised by how well researched and how well prepared and how well thought out it was. I just want to reiterate that this is a product of a team that met on February 8th. Before February 8th, they had never met each other. They also didn't know what the topic was. And so on February 8th and onwards, this team of 6 people, they had to get to know each other, decide on a topic, decide on a schedule of what to do together. And so you can see that this program, the Young Ambassador program, was a very intense 3 weeks of teamwork and collaboration. So without further ado, I would like to invite the 3 young ambassadors that we have here today. We have Wang Yuanhang, Endo Taishi, and Park Kaun. So yes, I think you see them on screen now. Hello, young ambassadors. Nice to see you again. So I'm going to ask some questions to you 3 about your experience of the Young Ambassador program. And I'm going to start with Kaun. Congratulations once again for you and your team winning the Best Proposal Award. So my question to you is, can you introduce to us any challenges you had while preparing for the final presentation? What was the experience like coordinating this presentation?
Thank you for that question. So I won't spend time explaining on what our presentation was because it was the presentation that everyone just saw. But basically, I think there were 2 large challenges. The first challenge was everyone came from such diverse backgrounds with such different interests that it became quite challenging to narrow down our topic to simply one. For example, one of our Japanese teammates had experience participating in Campus Asia, whereas other group mates had experiences participating in Korean ASEAN Youth Summits and other activities hosted by different regional institutions. And for us, the way to narrow down and combine all of our different interests and passions was to have a lot of understanding for each other, as well as have heated discussions on the strengths and the weaknesses of each proposal. And eventually we were able to combine the interests of everyone so that we could all make sure that everyone's specialties were contributed and reflected in the final proposal. The second challenge, it was a slightly more minor challenge, but we had partners who are from different countries and very different time zones. For example, one of our group mates were from the UK, and organizing the meetings and working around everyone's schedule required a lot of flexibility and understanding for each other's situations. So I think that those were the two challenges that we faced while preparing for the presentation.
Thanks. You mentioned right now that the topic, choosing the topic was pretty difficult because everyone, obviously with 6 members, you have a lot of different topics, and ultimately you combine them. I'm curious if this combination process was a process of eliminating other, like, certain people's topics, or was it more of harmonizing the topics that everyone had?
I think fortunately we were able to harmonize everyone's ideas. For example, initially we had 2 different suggestions, with one groupmate wanting to focus on Campus Asia and another groupmate wanting to focus on the alumni project. However, essentially we were able to harmonize both ideas and suggest that having an alumni project and an alumni network within the Campus Asia framework would be able to incorporate for not only everyone's interests, but also increase the Campus Asia experience for the participants and the faculty.
Okay. I'm glad it didn't lead to any disputes or quarrels, because I'm gonna ask Taishi next a little bit about that. Taishi, so when you were doing these projects, what did you think were some of the similarities and maybe the differences of the 3 countries? And when you come across some of these differences, what would be your tips for us when communicating with people from various backgrounds that have different languages, ethnicities, or beliefs?
Thank you for your question. So firstly, about similarities, I experienced that there, like through this program, I learned that there are a lot of similarities among those 3 countries, China, Japan, Korea, but especially I found that there are a lot of similarities on the field of culture of the 3 countries. For example, we have some similar traditional cuisine, or like the also Japan, Korea, and China share some philosophy, like represented by, for example, Confucianism or that kind of philosophy. And also we have pop cultures of each country, and those cultures are quite, popular and famous across the 3 countries. But especially, I think that the languages are one of the important representation of our cultural similarities, since we have a lot of similar vocabularies among the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. And also, we have some similar grammars among those 3 countries. So I think those are some representations and examples what I explained as similarities of those countries. And when it comes to differences, I think each country, of course, has a different history, and also there's some different political systems among those 3 countries. So I guess in terms of that kind of subject, I experienced some differences among those 3 countries. And personally, I think to overcome those differences and also utilize effectively those similarities, I think, and to create a good term in the people from other backgrounds, I think it is important for us to find and understand the similarities. I guess people tend to focus on the differences when we communicate with people from other countries or other backgrounds. But firstly, I think it is important for us to find and understand the similarities, which allow us to have some kind of familiarities with people from other backgrounds. And after that, I think, we can appreciate the differences as well, and we can be in a good term with many people from many backgrounds. So yeah, that's I think one of the tips I can give to those who are eager to communicate with people from different backgrounds. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. I definitely agree that first we should prioritize finding and understanding the similarities, and then after that, maybe we can go and see these differences and appreciate them rather than use these differences as a cause for division between us. But speaking on that point, so understanding the similarities, you mentioned that languages represent the most interesting similarities between the three countries. I'm wondering if during the 3 weeks you worked with your teammates, you found a specific word or an example that you thought was interesting, that is similar between the three countries.
Oh, yes. Well, actually, I have some kind of language exchanging during the program with my colleague, fellow teammates. But like, I found that, for example, it is quite interesting to say highways. In Japanese, it is said that 고속도로, but when it comes to Korean, it is said like 고속도로. I don't know if my pronunciation is good, but yeah, that's also, I think that is quite interesting to learn that, you know, the pronunciation of the word is quite similar between Japanese and Korean. And also, like, when it comes to Chinese, I found the similar words in Japanese, like saying like welcome to, like, in Japanese, it is said that like kange or like that kind of thing. But like when it comes to Chinese, people say like fanging. Yeah, so I think that's also one of the, you know, example I found during the program. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Last but not least, I want to ask some questions to Yuan Hong. Yuan Hong won our Excellence Award during the program, and so I have very high expectations for a very great answer from you. No pressure though. And what I want to ask you is that the youth, I think, are a pretty unique group in society because, you know, they have flexible ideas and they're also comfortable with utilizing new platforms, technological platforms. And so my question to you is, how can we expand the bonds between the youth of the three countries? And what do you think the youth can do for trilateral cooperation?
Thank you for your question. I think just as Secretary General O has said, youth are the most active and dynamic force in the society. At this moment, our world, our Northeast Asia, and our own country are facing more and more challenges. The young people have more innovative ideas, more active thoughts, more ambitions, aspirations, and a stronger sense of responsibility to combat these challenges. They are willing to actively propose initiatives for regional cooperation and social progress. I think this year's Young Ambassador Program is a good example. From environmental protection and economic cooperation to gender equality and educational exchanges, we young ambassadors express our youth views and put forward our youth proposals about trilateral cooperation. It is a very good demonstration of youth aspiration and youth action. As for how to expand the bonds between the youth of the three countries, I think the Trilateral Cooperation Secretariat has made excellent efforts, creating wonderful opportunities for young people from the three countries to have communication, cultural exchanges, and mutual understanding. For example, the Trilateral Youth Speech Contest today and the Young Ambassador Program, which I have been participating in for the past 3 weeks. And you know, during the Young Ambassador Program, what makes me very impressing is that Mr. Liuske has once said, we are not just the young ambassador representing our own country and to communicate with our Korean or Japanese peers, but on the contrary, we are also young ambassadors of the three countries to promoting mutual understanding in our own country. I think that's very important to build the bridges in our three countries. And when speaking of the to utilizing the some new technologies, I think what we are going to do is to use the internet properly. Internet especially during the pandemic days, it's a very useful platform for young generations to meet with each other, to share our ideas, and to have cultural exchanges. I think that's very useful tool. And speaking of the mutual understanding, I think one of important thing is the languages. I think today's contest, we have numerous participants for the challenges or for the specialists. They're also very good at some specific languages such as Chinese, Korean, Japanese. I think that's a very useful tool for communication and for mutual understanding of our three countries and of our youth of our three countries. I think that's very good tool for us to use. And I believe, just as Secretary General O had said, we cannot change our history, but we can shape our future. It is we youth that have the responsibility to play an essential role in shaping our future, shaping the future of our three countries, the future of mutual understanding, and the future of trilateral cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yuan Hong, I believe you joined the Young Ambassador Program, the YAP, and after you finished it, I'm wondering, because you've just mentioned the importance of learning languages, will you now be learning Japanese and Korean?
Actually, I have been working on it since my college years, and but actually I'm in a very basic level. But during the program, I also learned a lot of things from about languages from my Korean and Japanese peers. I think that's very good, a very good experience. And just like Taisi has said, like the similarity of our languages in the pronunciation and also in the vocabulary. And I've already have a little glimpse of the common vocabulary dictionaries from the TCS, and I think that's very useful tool for me to understand the three languages. And we also talk about this during our chat after our the proposals. So yeah, and we also have some cultural exchanges during our chat about some cultural differences and cultural similarities of our three cultures. Yeah, I think that's a very good experience.
Okay, well, that sounds very promising. So we'll be waiting for your application for next year's Trilateral Speech Contest. Looking forward to it. Well, that'll do it for us. Apologies, it's just a very short session. I do want to keep discussing various questions with you, with all three of you, but I do think we have to go on to the awards ceremony. So to our viewers, I hope this provided a glimpse into our Young Ambassador Program, which is again only one of our many youth programs, and the potential of our youth programs and how it can bring together the students from these three countries and promote mutual understanding and why they are so crucial. Again, thank you to the Young Ambassadors for joining today. And with this, we'll go on to our awards ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryosuke. I hope the youth session served as an inspiration and an encouragement for those of you watching this event online to participate in future TCS youth programs. Now is the time that everyone has been waiting for. We have all the results, but before announcing them, we will invite comments from three judges for today's speech contests. 请中日韩合作秘书处的李冠玉处长对今日的演讲比赛进行点评。
谢谢主持人。首先祝贺来自中日韩三国的所有青年选手，大家的表现都非常的优异。 感谢大家奉上了一场精彩、真诚并且饱含感情的演讲比赛。刚才大家有的从亲身经历出发，提示大家文化的交流和相互融入彼此的社会可以消除分歧，增进友好关系。有的选手从三国共同和相似的传统习俗出发，讲述大家情感共通性可以超越其他的因素，增进彼此理解和认同。我的感受是，归结起来，其实大家都在传递同一个信息。我们在 T4S 内部也经常会这么说，那就是我们三国的人民有所不同，但是并没有那么大的不同。事实上的确也是如此。中日韩三国的密切关系，三国民众的密切的交往，具有内生的动力。这是由三国间地理位置相近这样的天然的属性，和三国民众不断交流互鉴这样的历史积淀所决定的。今天当大家在用非母语进行演讲的时候，在此我也印证了自己的强烈的感觉，我们的语言其实在某种程度上也有共通性。我想各位选手能够生活在彼此的社会，体验和学习彼此的文化语言，实际上也是受益于三国共生共存的这样一个天然的属性。希望大家在今后的生活、学习、工作过程中继续发挥自身独特的优势，做中日韩文化交流正能量的传播者，把我们的持久和平、普遍繁荣和共同文化的这样一个理念传播得更广一些，共创我们一个美好的未来，在这个东北亚的这样一个地区。最后再次感谢大家奉上了这一场思想内涵非常丰富的演讲比赛，谢谢。
谢谢李处長。それでは毎日新聞の堀山明子様、よろしくお願いいたします。
毎日新聞の堀山です。皆さん、素晴らしいスピーチをどうもありがとうございました。私は今日審査員、ジャッジするという立場なんですけれども、本当に逆に皆さんから学ぶところが多かったと思います。少し分野別にお話ししたいと思います。スペシャリストの皆さん、全体を通じてですね、音楽や文化、伝統をより深く相手の文化と比較しながら学ぶことによって、こういう新しい発見があった、認識が深まったということを自分の言葉で語るという方が多かったと思います。これは今インターネットの世界で誹謗中傷、根拠のない相手への非難があふれる中で、自分の経験に基づいて相手を褒めるっていうことが本当に言葉の力を持つ時代に入っていると思っています。私はメディアで記事でも友好、日中、日韓、友好の記事を書くとひどいコメント、悪口、しかも感想のような感情的なコメントがたくさん私の記事についてきてですね、それがまた反響を呼ぶというような悪循環をたくさん経験しています。今日のスピーチ、スペシャリストの皆さんの言葉というのはですね、そういう、今のネット文化にあふれている悪い、文化を変えていく力を持っていると思いました。今後のご活躍を期待しています。またチャレンジャーの皆さんはですね、まず多言語を本当に、使いこなしたということに敬意を表します。またテーマがですね、平和であるとか、共同体というようなより普遍的な分野にまで、至っていて、しかも提案が非常に具体的だったと思います。3カ国の言語を操れる皆さんはすでにこの分野でのリーダーになる資格を十分持っていますので、この具体案をですね、 行動に移せるように今後も活動を期待しています。政府や財団の皆さんはですね、もう本当にこの若い人たちの具体的な提案を政策に入れることがすぐできるような内容がたくさんあったと思いますので、政府や財団、そしてメディアも皆さんの若い人たちの声をしっかり耳を傾けていきたいと思います。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。 다음은 사이버한국외국어대학교의 박기선 교수님, 오늘 스피치 콘테스트 어떻게 보셨는지 한 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 감사합니다. 오늘 제1회 한중일 스피치 콘테스트의 심사를 맡은 사이버한국외국어대학교의 박기선입니다. 우선 멋진 발표를 해주신 참가자 여러분들께 큰 박수를 보내고 싶습니다. 네, 여러분 너무 잘하셨습니다. 이번 대회 발표의 주제는 한중일 공통의 문화, 가치와 과제였습니다. 오늘 심사는 여러분들의 발표를 들으면서 발표의 내용과 언어 능력을 중심으로 심사를 진행했는데요. 저뿐만 아니라 다른 심사위원분들도 아마 참가자 간의 우열을 가리기 힘든 시간이셨을 거라 생각합니다. 언어는 세상을 보는 창문이라고 합니다. 지금 저는 여러분과 다른 공간에 있지만 여러분들의 발표 덕분에 한국어로, 일본어로, 중국어로 소통하며 언어라는 창문을 통해서 대대로 이어진 한중일 3국의 다양한 문화와 세계를 만날 수 있었습니다. 그리고 오랜 역사 속에서 교류를 이어온 진정한 이웃으로서 한국, 중국, 일본, 우리의 역할을 생각해 보게 되었습니다. 오늘 결선에서 실력을 겨룬 참가자 여러분들 정말 고생 많으셨습니다. 여러분들이야말로 한중일의 지속적인 소통과 교류에 꼭 필요한 훌륭한 인재라고 생각합니다. 여러분의 미래를 향한 도전을 응원하면서 이것으로 심사평을 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다, 교수님. Thank you, judges, for your insightful comments. Now it is time for us to announce the winners for each category. When we announce the winners, we would like to also ask the winners to share their thoughts on winning this contest. First, I would like to invite TCS Deputy Secretary General Sakata to announce the winners for the CJK specialists.
Okay, I'll start with the wonderful third place winner, Miss Mukai Moeka.
Ms. Mukai, can you share some thoughts?
ありがとうございます。まさか賞を取れると思ってなかったのでとても嬉しいです。これからも日中韓の文化に関わる活動がしていけたらと思います。ありがとうございます。
Okay, second place winner, dun 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 dun, Miss Ma Shinjun.
Ms. Ma, could you say a few words?
Yes, I'm very honored to win the prize, and I think everyone is very brilliant and excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the first place winner is Miss Oh Hyun-gyun.
Congratulations, Ms. Oh. Any words to share with us?
주제 선정에 있어서는 저희 한중일 관계의 과거에 대해서 돌아볼 수 있었고 스크립트를 쓰는 과정에서는 저희 관계의 미래에 대해서 생각해 볼 수 있는 아주 좋은 기회를 마련해 주셔서 TCS에게 너무 감사합니다. 네, 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. Next, please welcome TCS Secretary General Ao to announce the winners of the CJK Challengers.
Good afternoon, everybody. And first of all, please allow me to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all the judges. 파규순이, 그리고 기존이 감사합니다. 이중이성, 에드네 호리야마성, 아리가토 고자이마스.苏婷、玉婷还有朱勇教授，谢谢你们，非常感谢，辛苦了。And I would also like to express my gratitude to 3 directors from TCS. Thank you very much for hard working. And it is my honor to announce the winner of the first youth speech contest. I'm a little bit excited. I don't know what's inside the envelope. Okay. Well, the third place winner of the challenger will go to Chung-hyun from Korea.
Congratulations. Mr.
Congratulations.
Chung. Can you say a few words?
Yeah, I didn't expect that I would win third place because other speeches were so great. I would like to say thank you to TCS, judges, and our participants and staffs. Thank you for creating a good opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, the second place winner goes to Xu Yujing from China.
Congratulations, Ms. Xu. Could you please share your thoughts on winning the second place?
获得本次大赛的奖项，我感到十分荣幸。首先感谢为我指导本次演讲的老师，也感谢家人给我的鼓励和支持。最后感谢比赛主办方为我提供了一个表达想法的舞台。谢谢。
Thank you very much.
Well, the first place winner Miss Jang Yun-so from Korea.
Congratulations, Ms. Jang. Could you share your thoughts on winning the first place?
저는 결승까지 진출하는 게 목표로 하고 너무 결승 진출한 것도 만족스럽고 이왕 결승 간 김에 열심히 해보자라는 마음으로 준비를 했는데 1등 하게 돼서 믿기지가 않고요. 삼국 협력 촉진에 제가 영향력이 있는 사람으로 나아가고 싶은데 그 시작점이 오늘이 된 것 같아서 너무 기쁘고 무슨 말을 더 해야 될지 모르겠습니다. 이런 기회를 주신 삼국 협력 여러분들께 너무 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. Congratulations to all 6 winners as well as all the contestants who participated in the speech contest. Please give a round of applause to all of the finalists who have presented their speeches today and everyone who have challenged for the speech contest. We will send winners a contest trophy after the event. Finally, I would like to invite our Secretary General Ao to the stage for the closing remarks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody for supporting this program. And I would like to congratulate to all the contestants who have prepared their beautiful speeches today. And 3 months ago, and the speech contest was only a paper plan. And CJK Challenger and CJK Specialist were 2 imaginary concepts, which is still without any substance. However, today, now we have witnessed the CJK challenges exceeding their linguistic limits and challenging themselves to speak in all three languages. And we have seen CJK specialists controlling the slightless intonation and pauses to sound as if they're native speakers. You are the first ones to breathe life into these names. Now let us take time to recall the diverse collections of topics and we have discussed at this stage. Some spoke about the food, Olympics, ghosts, and music, while others touch upon recycling, New Year, internet media, prayers, and environment. Some navigated us through their journey living in the three countries, while others proposed inventive projects to promoting trilateral cooperation. I'm deeply impressed not only by their linguistic talents, but also their profound understanding of the shared culture among CJK countries. And that is the hope and the confidence of the future trilateral cooperation. And trilateral cooperation is nothing extraordinary, as we cherish the synergism driven from our history of exchange and continued our pursuit for lasting peace, common prosperity, and shared culture. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our young ambassadors who were willing to share their findings after 2 weeks of immense discussions and debates. And I believe the youth session has demonstrated that the projects in TCS and any occasions in which the youth of CJK gather are not detached segments. These opportunities are rocks and sharp edges aligned along a single river. If you are a stone tossed into this stream, let yourself crash and roll over these rocks and edges, only to become rounder, softer, and shiner by the time you reach the vast ocean. Along the way, that you will learn how to appreciate each other's observations without devaluing your own. You will learn how to build upon past success and failure and to take initiative in creating new frameworks. We assure you that you will be shining like a crystal by the time you reach global stage. And we would be proud to say that these young leaders will open a new era for the history of Northeast Asia and the world. In TCS, we often say that we cannot change our history, but we can shape our future. So let's work together and to shape our future. 让我们一起共筑未来。一緒に未来を作りましょう。And I'm sorry, 미래를 함께 멍터에 나갑시다. Thank you very much. I tried my best.
Thank you, Secretary General, for the words of wisdom and encouragement. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us until the very end. We hope today's event was as meaningful as much to you as much it was to us. Before you leave the meeting, please answer a survey from this QR code and let us know your ideas for this speech contest. Your input will be very much helpful in improving our future projects. This concludes the first Trilateral Youth Speech Contest. It's been a pleasure being with you all today. Thank you.